great film, unbelievable.
Thank you. Sure. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was really the result of a lot of hard work of people believing in one project and willing to work really hard to get it done. Not easy, but
Sure.
yeah.
Could you introduce your cast?
Sure.
Have them come up?
Some of them, I think, went to the restrooms.
That's okay. They can trickle in.
John Fonan, you recognize him, yes? Chris Ricci, Chelsea Amoroso, we have Michael Rivera, and I know James McCaffrey is here, so yeah, he'll be right back.
Would you like me to ask you questions? I love to hear from the cast.
Right.
Yeah,
And the
me too.
director, what your inspiration was, how'd you get these actors together? But we also want to hear from you guys what your questions are, because you just saw this and you have your own ideas. Would you like to start?
Sure. I think when John and I started writing the movie, we ended up being lucky enough, along with the producer Seth Felicio, to be able to get the actual actors that we envisioned from the beginning. So I guess that was a really good thing to happen. They read the script, they liked it, and while we were writing, I guess they kind of probably inspired us for, build the character we would think it would be interesting maybe for them, I guess.
You know, we see every actor we thought of as we were writing, and they happen to want to do the movie, so it worked out perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
And I don't know what.
It was just, I found the ending, I had no idea. And the ending, I was blown away. What about you guys? Do you have questions?
Yeah, we're on the floor up, so we just ask the question, and we'll be able to repeat it if anyone can't hear it. So, question, raise your hand, just yell it out. What's on your mind? Yes?
Quick comment on the question. The comment is, I love that you took your time. The film has a lot of breathing space. You really have a lot of silences. Really get into the character's style of filmmaking. I haven't seen it in quite a while. I love that.
Oh, nice, thank you. Well, I think a lot of times, what you can actually do in independent movies is where you can't do in bigger budget movies is to really take your time. I find that the most important thing for these movies, since it's a low budget movie, was to really focus on the actors and the acting and give them as much space as possible. Close-ups, or really try to always see what goes on other than just actions, or so really giving importance to their performances.
My question is, the performances across the board are phenomenal, and the relationships are so strong. I'm wondering if you have a long rehearsal period on this.
Not at all, nothing. No, I think the way we put together the cast, of course we met at least once before we started, but the way I see it personally, when you pick a cast member, it's beyond whether they can do the role or be perfect physically or whatever characteristics you're looking for. The character, personality, and team collaboration, and getting along personally sometimes is probably a better way to go than just picking somebody because of who they are or what they've done or what their talent
functional, but, you know.
Yeah.
It works. Who else? What else is on your mind? Yes, in the front here.
When you wrote the movie, did you have it in that sequence always, or did you change it around several times?
When you wrote the movie, did you have it in that sequence, or did you
I mean,
change it
it was
around?
phenomenal.
Yeah, we kept it pretty much, we had it in that pretty much exact order. A couple of things shifted around and, you know, but pretty much that exact order. You know, we edited a few things differently, but.
He's lying. I saw him having the whole script in order when he was reading.
It's fascinating, the whole journey.
Great. Yes.
I'd like to hear them talk about how they felt being inside the skin of their characters.
So the question is, how did you guys feel being inside each of your characters? Why don't we start?
Well, how did it feel to be inside the skin of my character? Well, my character was just a badass, so it was pretty fun because I don't know, I like to be a badass and I could really be a badass, so I kind of just went with it and troublemaker, so it was kind of fun to play. But that was my 2 cents.
Okay, I'm gonna talk. You know, I don't know how to answer that very well. And before I stand around for an hour, I would say John and Alexia made it very comfortable to not play the, because it's, you know, you don't want to play the ending. You know, when you're acting in a scene, you don't think about what happened in every moment. You don't want to be, you know, because you know what happened to my character, you don't want to be thinking about that in every scene. But sometimes it slips in, and it gets a little dark, but, you know, I would say the material was very dark, but I was very comfortable in that character's skin. I don't have a problem going to dark places, or crying, or all that stuff. So it was actually, you know, I've been doing, you know, some comedy here and there, and other stuff that's not so deep, so it was very nice to actually be able to get gritty with people I trust. So it was very easy.
He made it fun on set. It wasn't as dark as it's a movie. It was
It was
really
a lot of fun.
We had a lot of fun. It was really fun.
No, you took about exactly what I was thinking. For me, I needed to work with like people that I feel completely comfortable with. I mean, I've never experienced that heavy. I've never had those experiences, obviously. So to get to those places for me, I needed to completely trust everyone, and I had like a personal connection with each person that I was working with each individual person. So that's what I needed to get to where I need to be in that individual scene.
Being in the skin of my character, well, I have to say, John and Alexia did make it very easy, like everyone said, to be comfortable on set and as one cohesive unit together. It was a lot of fun. Really was a lot of fun. And I think the dynamics of my character, they weren't too far away from the self or myself, because we played around with this a bit when we were discussing this character. John made it pretty easy in the improvisations and like when we filmed the trailer, to let me build on this character, and then he supplemented it with some great writing and great scenes that we all had a lot of fun playing. So that was helpful for me.
What was the question?
What was the question? About the character, for me it was kind of easy. It was typecasting. These guys saw me play a ghost and rescued me and hired me as the ghost. So thanks for sitting through such dark fare, but it's a poignant story, and if you follow it, hopefully you can feel something at the end of it. And each of the characters were perfectly represented how John and Alexia wrote it, and just hope you get something out of it. And sorry that each of the characters were so dark, but we had to tell the story the way it should come out. Does that make any sense?
Can I ask you a question? Did you guys have a lot of humor offset?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we're saying.
So
Yeah,
that you could
absolutely.
then
Yeah.
emote as much
Yeah,
as.
absolutely. Yeah, we had Chris Reed was our
Punch it back.
entertainer on set constantly. So you know, we didn't have the work team with us who played Father Prescott, but definitely was some humor behind it as well. And it doesn't sound too nice, but you know,
Kept it light.
to keep it light, exactly. Dinner scene and all those awkward moments, I think we were able to lighten up offset and have fun.
Yeah.
Anything else from the audience? Yes, in the middle.
So, excuse me for being, not getting it all, but, I
That's okay.
didn't get, in the end, I didn't get how the father died, and I didn't get how, the brother was still standing by the father passing. Just
Sure.
I'm really sorry. but-
No, there's nothing
So the question is, can you explain the ending a little
Can I
bit
explain
more
so
detail?
much? Sure. The father dies right after the argument scene.
Father
Did he
was-
suffer a heart attack or did he?
He dies of a heart attack. That's why there is a heartbeat symbolizing a heart attack.
That's how the father.
That's how the father passed.
Correct.
After the argument, yeah.
After the argument scene between father and son. You don't seem too convinced.
So he was
That's all right.
virtually with the main character throughout the story. After that point.
He's his angel on his shoulder, right? On his son's shoulder. He's looking, he has this platonic relationship with his son, or with his father, right? That he never had in real life because they never had a chance to talk and they always were misunderstandings between each other. So what happens in the car is actually this projection of what he would like and perceive his relationship with his father to be like.
Great. Another question over here. Go ahead.
What was your inspiration for True Redemption? How did you come up with the idea?
The inspiration.
A fun family movie. No, no, it was actually wanting to do a family movie, and we both like to write dark, so that's where we, that's how it came about. But we wanted to do a movie about a family. Great.
Yes.
What was the hardest part about filming the movie? Was it like sequencing or adapting it from screenplay to film?
What was the hardest part of filming?
Getting it done on very low budget. No, I mean, it's my job as a director to guide my actors whenever, it's not possible to shoot it chronologically. So I think I've done my job as far as that. Now, I don't know if that was hard for you guys. It wasn't for me. It was fun, but yeah, I don't know if there was really hard parts. I guess. Rain, yeah, a lot of rain, a lot of cold, a lot of patience from these guys here. Really, nighttime, yeah, very small crew, not enough hands around, definitely, that.
Okay, right here.
First of all, that was a very good movie, and I was actually blown away because I didn't expect it to be that emotional. And I just want to say it's a very, very good job. You're obviously a very talented director, and
Thank you.
directors. And I was just wondering, speaking of the argument, I was wondering how was that pretty much all scripted, or was it slightly improv? Because that was
All scripted. The argument scene
Was
was
the argument? Was the argument scene in Proverbs?
scripted. I guess James can maybe tell you about it. I know he likes that scene.
It was scripted. We rehearsed it several times through the day while John was shooting other scenes, and it was the last scene of the night. And we did just a couple of takes of it, expecting to go for a couple more hours because it was one shot with the Steadicam following us around the living room. And after a couple of takes, Alexia liked what she had and thought it was enough. So we got a couple hours off that night.
Very compelling, very good scene. Other questions? Saw some of those hands. Yes.
Great film. I think the title is very interesting. It's catching. So how did you decide on the title?
How'd you come up with the title?
Well, here's a guy who entire story?
Break it down.
Yeah. Bring it on, yeah.
Thank you.
But that's not the title. Chris Ritchie can tell you.
So it was called Break of Dawn, and then we were in the parking lot after I think the scene where we beat his butt. It was called Road to Redemption, and I'm like, John, I'm a brilliant person. Let me just come here for a second. Let's name it To Redemption. Take out the road, and then keep it simple. No laughs from the audience, but that's kind of how it went. That's kind of how it went.
It's reality.
That's it.
Chris, next.
Okay.
Okay. Anyone in the back? Yes.
For the actors, when you first got the script, what initially drew you into it?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
When the actors first got the script, what initially drew them into it?
When the actors first got the script, what initially drew you to it?
You guys.
I'll go.
Yeah.
It was dark. It was deep. They had called me and told me they were interested in hiring me for the film, and I was like, direct booking? I don't know. I'm kind of fishy about it. But then I read the script and I was like, wow, there's a lot of heart. There's a lot of depth. There's a lot of things you don't see in your normal independent film. I want to be a part of this. And then I met with them, and they were really eccentric and cool. And Alexia seemed to know what she was doing, and from there, it just was a cakewalk.
John and I kept running into each other like randomly on the street, and I'm like, please put me in a movie. But the script, I don't know, I like just like the rest. It's dark, we're weird people, as actors we like to do dark stuff. Someone tells you that you're playing a character who was blah, blah, blah. My character had problems, and so I was like, I'm down, sure, I like it. And like, I don't know why, but oh, anyway, these two right here, that's why, these two.
I actually went in to audition, and I remember them sitting at the table, and Sal coming in, the producer, and he was like, "You are the Teresa we've been looking for." And I heard that it was a long journey to find the Teresa, and I had absolutely no idea what I was in for. So it was a slow process for me.
I have to say, what drew me into the script, not only that I've known John and Alexia prior to, was the quality of the story and what it would bring to the audience. And in just reading it, I felt a lot of emotion. I felt a lot of things coming up from myself. And I said, well, if I can read this, and this is what I feel, imagine what kind of story can be on film. So that's actually what drew me into it as a whole. Just as an actor, doesn't matter how big the part is, but being a part of the story's entirety. So that's what drew me into this great work.
For me, reading the script, I thought it was a really interesting script, but I didn't quite get it either. And then John rewrote a 100-page script sequence out, and it made a lot more sense that way. And it still comes out a little different. The end product is a little different than the way I imagined it. But the sequencing was very difficult because I would ask him every day we work, okay, so where are we in this part of it? And once you give yourself up to trusting Alexia and saying, okay, so I get it, and they would both have to explain it to me often, it started to make sense. And I was a little nervous about the Catholic Church issue, but I think the story was, as it broke down slowly enough, where you're not quite sure what the Catholic Church's involvement is, what the father's involvement is, and what the kid's involvement is. To me, by the end of it, and after understanding the sequence of it, it made a lot of sense. And it was a deep story, sort of like the movie Memento, where you had to go back and follow and then fast forward and follow. So to me, that was intriguing, and to work with these guys was a great experience.
Excellent. We take a few more questions. Yes.
How can you use the New York family and base that in, you know, the Queens area and everything?
John Juan was born in Greece.
Yeah, that's it.
That works.
Queens. Excellent. Okay. Another question, one from the back. Yes, ma'am.
How did you get such high quality items in the what were the tricks that you usually shoot on?
How do you get high quality cinematography?
We
Yes.
actually didn't use professional lightings at all. All we used was self-made lightings. The actors experienced bullets falling on their heads and other weird fake things on their heads. The DP, I guess, had a good eye and color correction. And you know, it's a matter of taste. A lot of people don't like the way it looks like, and it's fine for me. I love it. I like dark, desaturation type of colors, saturated colors. So I think overall it does look good. It's very stylistic. So what we did, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people that have other low budget movies, they could try to do it, but the thing is, it's a matter of taste. So it's not weird tricks, it's just color correction and lighting on set. No professional lighting for us.
Okay, we'll take one more question. Any other question?
I just have a comment.
A comment, okay. Share,
If
please
the
share.
actors would come forward instead of standing so far back, I think it would involve us all in the experience more.
Okay. Done with that? Let's show a round of applause.
Well, just thank you to the Boston Film Festival to be so, courageous to show this movie. And I'm glad that you liked it. We loved it. Great.